Oh boy, we got a retard alert.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
So I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I really don't have time to go back and forth with this. Plus, I just got home from work, I'm tired, and I want to play some Kingdom Hearts 3. So I'm going through Twitter, scrolling through my feed, minding my own business. And I see a retweet from one of my favorite YouTubers, Fratanga. And he quoted some dude named JojoZR1. And I read the tweet that he said, and it said, "We? Get out of here with we. Most of you PC bums have the power of a 1060 and under. And I promise you, most PC guys are going to be the first in line pre-ordering the new consoles. Consoles have the best exclusives and best dev support." So I pretty much had the same reaction as for Tanga. I'm like, why are you dogging on people for having a 1060? A 1060 is a very, very good card. Easily can do 1080p 60 FPS on any game with probably max settings, to be honest. High settings. So I'm like, oh, it's probably the typical console dude who just doesn't know anything about PCs and just spouts nonsense. I want to see a couple more of this dude. So I go in deeper. And I already see a person replying to this guy, and he's like, "Nothing wrong with a 1060, mate. Still plays everything I throw at it at 60 FPS, 1080p max settings. That's all I needed to do, blah, blah, blah." So, of course, what a reasonable response. And he says he's played Tomb Raider 2013 at 4K 60, medium-high settings. That sounds about right. And then Jojo comes in with a response and says, "4K 60? Get out of here. My 1080 Ti and i7 8700K can't even do 4K 60. And the new consoles are going to crush 1060 builds for half the price. Shoot, even the Xbox One X beats it in most games."
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And my fellow PC enthusiasts, my fellow PC gamers, I know with that sentence, you looked at this and you already got fucking triggered. I got you covered. Your boy came in hot. And with my response, I said, your 1080 Ti and i7 8700K can't even do 4K 60? Do you even own these components? I have a 1080 Ti and i7 7700K, my bad, I'm tired. And I'm playing Resident Evil at 4K 60 with HDR and at max settings. What the fuck are you talking about? And he said, "Bullshit, show me proof and don't turn everything low. It has to be high to ultra settings on everything." So this dude doesn't believe me. And I'm thinking that, alright, maybe he's just a fucking console peasant. He doesn't know any better. But he sends a picture of his rig and he actually has what he's saying. He wasn't lying, so he literally has a 1080 Ti and he has such a powerful rig, and he thinks he can't do 4K 60. You can't write this shit. This is console peasantry, down to a fucking T. Hey, just wanted to add right after this point that I had to redo this video. Well, not redo it, but I had to re-render it because I don't know why, but fucking YouTube only left it at 360p, and that's fucking bullshit. So I'm gonna try to render it again. So someone on Twitter commented on the thread I was on with this dude and said that he doesn't. He shows off pictures of a PC, but it's not actually his. So I decided to add that in here. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I mean, why would this guy just chime in and just, lie like that? And I don't know. Just take it with a grain of salt. Maybe that dude's just fucking trolling. But okay, back to the present. And he says later that the Xbox X beats a 1060 in most games, and that's a $450 console. And rumors are the next gen consoles will have the power of a 1070 Ti to 1080 in them. So this dude is saying that the next gen consoles will run games easily at 4K 60, and says that those consoles will have a 1070 Ti to 1080 in them. Do you see where I'm getting at? He is saying that the next gen consoles will have a weaker GPU equivalent to the GPU that he has. But he is saying that he can't play any games or whatever, he can't play games at 4K 60. So this guy wants some proof that you can run games at 4K 60 with a 1080 Ti? Well, let's do it then. I'll show him with a brand new game, Resident Evil 2. And he should see that once you see this game running at 4K 60, I mean, obviously you can't run every single game. There's a lot more taxing games than even Resident Evil. But this is a brand new game. There's a lot going on. It's a very graphically demanding game. It looks beautiful. There's, lights and shit. And so, yeah. Why not this? Alright, so I recorded this before I voiced over it, so I'm going to try to do it the best I can because my mic was cut off, but I don't really want to re-record. So there you see, I'm recording at 4K. So yeah, 3840 by 2160. Rendering mode is normal. Don't put it on interlace because that's garbage. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. Image quality 100%, refresh rate 60, FPS 60, VSync on, anti-aliasing is on the second highest settings, because, I mean, if you're playing at 4K, you don't really need that much anti-aliasing, so, but, that's still the second highest setting. It's very good. Texture quality, as high as it goes. Texture filter quality, high as it goes. Mesh quality, max. For shadow cache on, contact shadows on, screenplay, blah, blah, blah. Everything's on. So, here we're at volumetric lighting quality, and I guarantee you're going to see this and say, hey, you're running this at medium. Why are you running at medium, bro? I said run it to high to ultra settings. Well, sure, if you want to go the immature route and tell me that I'm running one medium setting to get to 4K 60, go right ahead. But let me tell you this. The low setting on PC is actually higher than the setting that it's on for the for the Xbox One X. And if you don't believe me, check out this clip from Digital Foundry saying the same thing.
Getting up to a proper 60 with tweaks is easy, and scarcely a CPU will be limited in getting there, and the PC version luckily has the tweakability options above and below console graphics to put this version in the first place pedestal. That all comes with knowing where and what to tweak though, and that all starts with the most expensive volumetric lighting option. This controls the internal fidelity and sample counts of the volumetric lighting found in the game. It's a very expensive option at the highest level. Going from high to medium shows a 27% gain in performance, and a 36% gain going to low, and a near 50% better performance when turning it off. Unsurprisingly, this is the area where the premier console version of the Xbox One X makes the greatest sacrifice. Here it is running on the visual near equivalent of the low setting on Xbox One X. I say near equivalent because it seems to be filtered differently due to whatever differences in post-processing or filtering are happening on Xbox One X. And frankly, all versions of this game seemingly have a different post-processing resolve. They all look a little bit different. The Xbox One X resolves crescent moon-like artifacts in the volumetric lighting, while on PC it looks like stippling. That is until you enable interlacing mode, which kind of looks more similar to the Xbox One X version. In the end though, it being set to low on Xbox One X is obvious when you move around. That amount of visual noise is just not visible on the medium or high setting at any resolution. So while the Xbox One X is usually the basis for my recommended settings, here I say go with medium volumetric lighting for most GPUs. That console equivalent of low is just too noisy for my taste, and medium still is giving you great performance and visuals.
So yeah, the low setting on PC is still higher than the setting that it is on the strongest console. So me running it on medium is probably double that. Or 25% better, something like that. It's even better than that. So yeah, right here I show you one final time, so you know I'm not pausing and taking a cut and turning down settings. So there's everything again. All the settings, either high or max, except for volumetric lighting, which medium is still twice as it is on Xbox One X. Alright, so I'm just going to let the gameplay show for itself, and I'm going to make the FPS counter as big as I can. Also, one extra thing to note, I'm actually recording this gameplay at 4K while playing at 4K. Like 4K 60, is what I'm playing at, and I'm also recording at 4K 60. So if you see any dips, I mean, 1080 Ti can only handle so much, but it can definitely handle 4K 60. You'll see some drops into the 59s, 58s, but it'll shoot right back up to 60. And obviously, the frame rate will dip when it's, a bunch of zombies on screen or something crazy, some crazy shit's happening, but that happens on the consoles as well. So, it's not totally locked all the time, but for the most part, my experience, it's been locked. And you can still tweak settings to get 4K 60. My point is, you don't even have to run it on high or max. Play with your system, play with what you got, and you can do 4K 60 on a 1080 Ti. You gotta be kidding me, dude. So I'll just let the rest of what I recorded play out, and yeah, that's it.
Son of a bitch.
Just take into consideration if you see frame drops, I am recording at 4K 60 while playing at 4K 60. That's like fucking 8K, bro.
Damn it! Jesus. What the hell? What the?
Also, for some reason, I don't know what was going on, but here's some extra footage of Overwatch at 4K. I say 4K with like a question mark at the end because it like wasn't letting me choose 4K. So I'm like a couple hundred pixels away from it, so it's like some weird number, but it's still very close to 4K. So I just decided instead of doing 60 on this this clip of gameplay, I increased the frame rate to like 100 something. So it's definitely floating around, 80s and 90s. So and that's no easy task, especially at this resolution. Still, even though it's not technically 4K, it's a couple hundred pixels away. I would pick 4K if it let me, but it wasn't doing it for some reason. I don't know why. But fuck it, here you go. And that's pretty much it. Didn't feel like recording any other games. But you got Overwatch, got Resident Evil. You can expect the same, results in fairly new titles. Even Black Ops 4. I uninstalled it because I don't want to fucking play that game anymore. But I used to be able to play that game at 4K 60. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show. I'm only in that beginning area, so I mean I can't show any other areas at 4K 60 and, you know, show what the performance would be. So I'm sure it varies, but you can definitely pull it off. And I'm playing at settings. I only increased the settings to high max just to show you that it's somewhat possible. And I mean, you could just turn down a couple things. I could probably turn down a couple other things and, you know, it'll be fine. If I turn down volumetric lighting to low, which low on PC is still better than the setting that it is on Xbox One X, I'll probably get a 25% increase in performance. And I mean, you can't just say dumbass things like that your card can't do 4K 60, because someone's gonna see that and think it's true. I mean, you know, you're irrelevant, so no one's really gonna care about your opinion, and no one agrees. So yeah. Alright, well that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm about to play some Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm probably gonna do a Resident Evil 2 playthrough on this channel, and I got some other videos planned for the week, so stay tuned. Alright, peace out.